Alright, thank you. We need Vernon Brock next. Alright, you're Vernon, I'm sorry, Brock Nicholas Vernon, not Vernon Brock. You're Brock Nicholas Vernon?
Yes, Your Honor.
Alright, case number 22 CR 46, State of Ohio versus Brock Nicholas Vernon. This is a Zoom hearing. Mr. Vernon returned from jail. The court arraigned him yesterday for escape and assault on a peace officer and set bail and appointed counsel. And since it was done in the absence of counsel, the court set this matter for review. Mr. Armentrout, anything you would like to say?
I've not had a chance to speak to my client yet, Your Honor. I'm not aware of any prior records for when it would show up for court if he was released on OR bond or not. I know that it's $10,000 now. We had court probably has something on his prior record. We asked the court to take that into consideration.
Okay.
Given the nature of these charges, Your Honor, the state would ask that the $10,000 bond remain in place. This defendant also is currently under post-release control. Thank you.
Yes, I noted that it's in the file, or in the file, and that was part of the court consideration. So, for the time being, the bond will remain the same due to the nature of the charge, and the file, I don't know if he's on a PRC hold or not, in any event, they will remain the same. It will be subject to renewed review if you wish to bring another motion with the court. All right, thank you. Tim J. Johnson II.
All right.
That's the arraignment, Judge. Arraignment.
Yeah, this is something good for us.
Okay. Is it here?
Okay. Oh, goodness.
All right, are you Tim J. Johnson II?
Yes, sir.
Recording in progress.
All right, this is case number 22 CR 47, State of Ohio versus Tim J. Johnson II. Mr. Johnson appeared by video, or I should say by Zoom, from the Justice Center. He is charged with aggravated murder, with gun specification, and felonious assault with gun specification. And I have reviewed the financial application and determined that Mr. Johnson is indigent and entitled to appointed counsel, and appointed Mr. Armentrout and Mr. Kirk as counsel for this matter, and both are present for this arraignment. Present for the arraignment is Assistant Prosecuting Attorney King. Now, counsel, have you had an opportunity to review the indictment at this point?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you wish to have an indictment read, or do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We'll waive the reading, Your Honor.
All right. How does your client plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
All right. this, for a, free trial. March 23rd. At 10 a.m. Final pre-trial, the April the 13th at 1 p.m. And the trial date will be set for April the 25th. Now, I know that's very quick, but given according to the arrangement notes I have, that the speedy trial date is 4/27. So I would anticipate to be a request for that to be continued, and so long as there's a time waiver, that won't be a problem as far as the court is concerned. But I just want to get it down now for that. Now, regarding the matter of bond, state wishes to be heard on bond.
Yes, Your Honor. State would ask that the bond be set at $500,000. That has been the defendant's bond since he's being arraigned in municipal court. Given the serious nature of this case, the fact that it does carry the possible sentence of life without parole convicted, the state feels that is an appropriate bond. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Armentrout, Mr. Kirk, either wish to address the matter?
Your Honor, I spoke with Tim at the preliminary level, and he didn't have the ability really to make any kind of bond at that point in time due to the serious nature of the charges. I think the point was asked the court to consider something much less than what already is.
All right, well, I'll note that defendant has a number of prior convictions according to the court, the Ohio Court Network's record that report that was generated for back 2012. The last one's from 2012, forgery and money laundering. And then, well, actually, looks like there were 6 counts of grand theft, says convicted, money laundering convicted, and forgery convicted. Some prior misdemeanors. But given the nature of this offense, it's a mandatory prison term. Court will, at this point, have set bond, the same as has been previously, $500,000 plus OR and $171 service fee prior release, and the usual conditions of bond. All right. Your attorney's been in touch with Mr. Johnson. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Justin Osborne is next. All right, are you Justin Osborne?
Yes, sir.
It is case number 22 CR 72. State of Ohio versus Justin Noah Osborne. This is a bail review hearing. Mr. Osborne was arraigned yesterday, and counsel was appointed. Bail was set in the absence of counsel, so the matter is set for review this morning. He is charged in 2 counts of aggravated trafficking of methamphetamine and 1 count of aggravated trafficking of methamphetamine and aggravated possession, third-degree felonies, and aggravated trafficking and fentanyl-related compound, possession of fentanyl-related compound, 4th and 5th-degree felony. All right, Mr. Armentrout.
It's actually my case, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Kirk. Yeah. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would ask the court in this particular case to grant an OR bond for the following reasons. One, these indictments stem back from sometime last year, 2021. so they're not recent activity. And during this time, Mr. Osborne has completed the counseling center in November of 2021. He's currently enrolled outpatient at FRS. He's done very well. He's in drug court. He's graduated to level 2 or phase 2. There's not been any missed appointments or any positive screens that I'm aware of. He's been compliant with probation and the treatment team. And based on that, would ask the court to grant an OR bond allowing to continue in drug court and in treatment while the case is pending. If necessary, obviously any EMHA or other conditions the court will feel appropriate. But given the fact that he's been compliant with drug court and has shown up to everything there, I think that would be an appropriate request as an OR bond. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm not sure when this defendant was placed in drug court, although I do know some of these transactions are alleged to have occurred in July of 21. But given this defendant does have a prior felony for failure to appear, the state would ask that the current bond remain in place.
Sturgill, do you remember when he was put into drug court?
Yeah, I've got it right here. Looks like it was on September 22nd of 2021.
Okay. And where is Mr. Osborne residing now? Mr. Osborne, where are you residing now?
9001 Airport Road, Georgetown, Ohio.
And is that, are you living there alone or?
No, me and my fiance and my daughter.
Okay, were you working?
I had an interview today at BJ Trailers at 10 o'clock.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that the defendant has been compliant since September, and his appearances, so based on that, the court will reduce the bond to OR, which is your promise to appear, and if you fail to appear, you'll be subject to additional prosecution in this case. You'll be required to pay a deposit of $171 within 30 days. You report to probation as soon as you are released. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Joshua Rowland. All right, are you Joshua Rowland?
Yes, sir.
All right, this is case number 22 CR 66, State of Ohio versus Joshua Rowland. This hearing is being conducted by Zoom. He's appearing from the jail. His attorney is Dennis Kirk, who's also present by Zoom, along with the Assistant Prosecutor King on behalf of the state. The defendant was arraigned yesterday in absence of counsel. Mr. Kirk was appointed, and the court set bail. So, pursuant to Rule 46 aggravated review, he has been charged in indictment with 2 counts of aggravated trafficking methamphetamine and 2 counts of aggravated possession of methamphetamine. Kirk?
Thank you, Your Honor. I just found out about this case late yesterday. I am not aware of his background yet. I've not been able to meet with Mr. Rowland, so just asked the court to review the bond. Obviously, he's not been able to make a current bond, whatever that is, so we've asked the court to review that bond, perhaps reduce it.
And Mr. King?
Thank you, Your Honor. The state would ask that the current bond remain in place. Would note that count 3 does carry mandatory prison time if convicted, and this defendant also does have appear to have at least 3 prior convictions for complicity to aggravated trafficking, illegal assembly, and felonious assault. Thank you.
My report next, the OCN report says two numbers. You've been to prison twice or three times, Mr. Fuller?
3 times, Your Honor.
Three, all right, well, there is one that the institution did apparently report. Based upon the, and it is a pretty extensive report, and there's an extensive criminal history, so the bond is $15,000, and you the record in the mandatory sentence on the one charge, court feels 15,000 is an appropriate amount to ensure that the defendant's appearance bail will be able to sanction. Your attorney will be in touch with you, Mr. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, you have another case?
Yeah, Adam, let's see, you have Adam Willing?
Miss Witt.
Witt, and then Kathy Sparks is, she's
Also
not in
Miss
jail.
Witt.
Okay, so, yeah, we have Holsinger and, Willie, and Miss Witt is their attorney, so, we'll have to have, Miss, Order, see if we can get hold of her. I think we're done with you then, Mr. Armstrong.
I just had a question about another case, Judge, take about 2 seconds.
on CD, Porch International LLC, which is CDC Bowman et al. It's a continuation of a current damages from February the 7th. Plaintiff's attorney and is present along with representatives of the plaintiff. So, Mr. Gibbons?
If I may approach the bench, Your Honor, we have some additional exhibits we'll be entering into evidence today.
All
I'll
right.
provide a packet to you. There's some paper clips.
Thank you.
Do you need my client to restate her name and address for the record?
Yes, please.
Okay.
And,
Should
let me,
we swear
go
her
ahead
in
and raise your
again?
right hand, I'll swear you again,
Okay.
since we're not in the same day, same session. You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Right? You may.
Okay. Could you please state your name for the record?
Jasmine Bramos,
And what is your address, Ms. Bramos?
5530 Swan Grove, Winchester, Ohio, 45697.
Okay. And are you familiar with a business license here in the state of Ohio named the Porch Carryout and Grill LLC?
Yes.
And what is your relationship with that business?
Owner and operator.
Okay. So we were here previously submitting evidence on your motion for default judgment, correct? And we had originally submitted as Exhibit 1 a contract or a summation of charges for services that you had engaged with Bowman Technology Group. Is that correct?
Yes.
And I'd like to call the court's attention to the exhibits previously provided, marked as Plaintiff's Exhibit 5. Do you have a copy of the document listed as Plaintiff's Exhibit 5, Ms. Bowman?
Yes.
Or Brooks, I'm sorry.
Yes.
And could you please review that document quickly?
Yes.
Whenever you're ready. Now, previously, the Plaintiff's Exhibit 1 that was presented was just a summation sheet of charges for services to be rendered by Bowman Technology Group. Is that correct?
Yes.
And is this document listed as Plaintiff's Exhibit 5 an itemized listing of all the services for labor and materials that were going to be provided?
Yes.
And the total balance is the same that was due and owing on the summation sheet?
Yes.
And this is a true and accurate copy of the contract that you entered into with Bowman?
Yes.
When you terminated your relationship with Bowman Technology Group in August of 2021, did you have to hire new contractors to complete the work that Bowman was supposed to provide?
Yes.
And how many contractors did you have to engage services with?
2 different businesses.
Okay. And could you please state the names of those businesses and kind of the scope of the work that they were doing?
Superior Alarm was to perform all security, as far as cameras and that kind of thing. And then Alamo Technology Group was providing all audio, visual, sound, and that aspect of the work.
Okay. And Bowman Technology Group was providing both of those services under their original contract?
Correct.
Okay. If you could please turn to the page listed as Plaintiff's Exhibit 6. Did you recently request that Superior Alarm itemize the services that they did that were the same services Bowman was to provide under their contract?
Yes.
And is this document listed as Plaintiff's Exhibit 6 a true and accurate copy of the estimate that they
Yes.
mocked up for you? Okay. And you see on here that there are different items that are color coded. Is that correct?
Yes.
And can you explain why those items are color coded?
For Rick Hughes, who owns Superior Alarm, he color coded them to coordinate with Bowman's estimate on what he charged versus what Bowman charged for the correlating line item of work.
Okay, so if you would flip to the next document in your packet that's listed as Plaintiff's Exhibit 7. Is this a true and accurate copy of services rendered by Bowman Technology that were included in Plaintiff's Exhibit 5?
Yes.
Okay, and you see that there are color-coded markings on this.
Is there a difference between 5 and 7?
7 is just a truncated version. It is only the pieces that were included in Superior's work.
All right, thank you. So 7, the yellow is what was in Superior. Okay.
Yes, so 5 is a full copy of the work to be completed by Bowman. 7 just includes those pieces that Superior completed, okay? So you see on Plaintiff's Exhibit 6, if you want to lay them side by side, there are some pieces that are highlighted in yellow, is that correct?
Yes.
And if you look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 7, which was the Bowman estimate and contract, there are similar highlighted yellow items, is that correct?
Yes.
And it is your understanding that the items provided on Plaintiff's Exhibit 6 are exactly those items that should have been provided by Bowman in Plaintiff's Exhibit 7 and highlighted yellow?
Yes, for the owner of Superior Alarm.
Okay, and the same, if you flip through, there are 2 pieces that are highlighted pink on Superior's quote and pieces that are highlighted pink in Plaintiff's Exhibit 7, correct?
Yes.
And the same for the blue item on Plaintiff's Exhibit 6?
Yes.
And that was Superior's charge for what Bowman was going to be charging, same highlighted in blue on Plaintiff's Exhibit 7?
Correct.
And then there's one final one, which is orange on Plaintiff's Exhibit 6.
Correct.
And Plaintiff's Exhibit 7, last page, is the comparable service that Bowman was originally going to provide, correct? And it's your understanding that there weren't any upgrades to those services, but these were just quotes based upon what was to be provided by Bowman that Superior stepped in and completed, correct? On Plaintiff's Exhibit 6, how much did Superior charge for the services that they completed that were originally to be completed by Bowman Technology?
$19,954.23.
Okay. Have you had an opportunity to add up the highlighted portions of Bowman's estimate on Plaintiff's Exhibit 7?
Yes, $12,638.89.
So you had an increase in cost of $7,315.34 for the portion of the contract completed by Superior due to the breach of Bowman.
Yes.
Give me that number again, 12,000 what?
$638.89.
And so, and Exhibit 7, that is the total,
The highlighted
yellow,
items
pink, blue,
and
and
orange
orange
items.
highlighted items.
Yes.
And then Exhibit 6 represents what Superior charged in the 19,954.23.
Yes.
Okay.
So you also mentioned that there was an audio visual component as well. And did you have to hire a separate contractor to complete the audio visual component that Bowman was originally contracted to complete?
Yes, Alamo.
Okay. And did you request that the contractors at Alamo review the quote given by Bowman Technology and provide you comparable prices?
Yes.
Okay. You could turn to the document listed as Plaintiff's Exhibit 8 and just take a look at that. Is this a true and accurate copy of the document provided to you from Alamo with comparables of the prices they charged for services that Bowman had originally contracted for?
Yes, to the best of their knowledge, but they were using some different things.
Okay, and we'll get into that. So let's start on the second piece. It says that there was supposed to be some, and if you need some time in order to follow along with me, if I need to slow down.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you.
I'm sorry.
Put your mask down.
Yep. If you need some, if I need to slow down so you can follow along, we're kind of going to go through this one in more itemized detail.
Just so I understand, what I'm looking at in Pleas is it appears it was originally a Bowman Technology Group document estimate, and then the notes in blue with boxes around it or lines around it, rectangles, are what the Alamo has put in, show what they charge for the same service.
Exactly.
All right.
And we're going to go through, because some of the services are upgrades, and we're not asking for damages for anything that was an upgrade.
All right, yeah.
Okay? So the second line item here, which would be the first box in blue. Bowman was supposed to install commercial wall mounts that they were charging you $75 a piece for, is that correct?
Yes.
And Alamo has noted on here that those charges were $120.99 each, is that correct?
Yes.
So if there were 26 wall mounts installed, was the total that you paid Alamo for installation, for wall mounts, $3,154.74?
Yes.
And you were supposed to pay Bowman $1,950 for the same material?
Yes.
So there was an increase in cost?
Correct.
On the next item, which is the purchase of commercial dual speakers. It shows that there were 4 sets purchased, or supposed to be purchased by Bowman at a cost of $299 a piece. Is that correct?
Yes.
And it shows that Alamo actually purchased 14 of those stuffed speakers for $206 a piece. Correct?
Yes.
So there was actually a reduction in cost there. So you should have paid Bowman $1,196 for those. Is that correct?
Correct.
And for the same 4 speakers, you would have paid $824.
Correct.
And so you actually saved $372 there. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And then the next 2 items, or the next, actually, so it's the commercial 6-inch in-ceiling speaker. Bowman has that listed at $199 a piece, and you were purchasing 9 of those, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you ended up having to pay Alamo $250 a piece for those same speakers, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So at $51 a piece for each speaker, you incurred an additional charge of $459. Is that correct?
Okay, wait a minute, I'm not following that.
Okay.
Okay, I see this at about 11 at 250.
It says Speakercraft SC Pro 6 was $250 each,
Right.
quantity 11. So they added 2 speakers.
So plus 2, okay.
Yeah, but the price, but the original.
Price is $51 more.
Yes. For the 9 speakers, they were originally contracted to buy. And then the next piece of that, the SC Pro 8, along with the following piece, the URC HDA, those were both upgraded technologies that Alamo provided, correct?
Correct.
So you're not asking for any damages for those 2 pieces?
Correct.
The speaker wire and the Cat5 wire were substantially more expensive. Was that because you had upgraded equipment and added more installation of services?
Correct.
Okay, so we're not asking for damages for those. Okay. And the same with the MA RCS system, the MA Slim Power system, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do I need to slow down, Your Honor, or
Pardon me?
do I need to slow down, or?
No,
Okay.
you can go ahead and go over it. I can tell you, I'm going to have you submit a memorandum and give me a summary of all this so I can review it.
Absolutely.
Let you do the math instead of me,
Okay.
because I'm not very good at it.
Okay, not a problem. So the next item would be the 4th item listed from the bottom of this first page was a 48-port GB PoE system, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And that was originally supposed to cost $1,543 from Bowman, correct?
Yes.
And we see that Alamo actually had to charge you $1,995, is that correct?
Yes.
So that would be an additional charge of $452. Is that Sound correct?
Yes.
The following items on there were all upgraded services, is that correct?
Yes.
So you're not asking for damages for those?
Correct.
All right. If you turn to the second page, and go down to the first item where we see blue writing, that's a Draytech router, correct?
Yes.
Bowman was supposed to charge you $373.75 for that router, is that correct?
Yes.
And because of their breach, you had to pay Alamo for $59.95.
Correct.
So it'd be a difference of approximately $86.20.
Yes.
Now, down at the bottom, did you see that there was a listing of labor? Initially, it was $5,000 to Bowman, and you paid $28,050 to Alamo, is that correct?
Yes.
You're not asking for any damage to labor today, are you?
No.
And that the increase in labor was due mostly to the increase in services provided,
Correct.
correct? Okay.
She went for 5,000, didn't she?
She would like the 5,000, yes.
You said you weren't asking for anything.
Yes,
She's actually asking
I
for
apologize.
5, not anything.
Yes.
No, it's not
Just
a
the
problem, I just want to make
5,000.
sure that the record's clear. Okay.
Yes, we would ask for $5,000 in labor as well. Okay, so after reviewing all the documentation you provided as part of this default judgment hearing, you agree and you're requesting that the court grant you judgment for the $21,548.28 that you already paid to Bowman for no services that they provided.
Correct.
You are also asking for $7,315.34 that was paid to Superior for increases in material and labor for security services that they had to complete due to Bowman's breach of contract.
Correct.
You are also asking for $6,820.94 that was paid to Alamo for increases in material and labor for purchase of audiovisual components and installation that you had to pay due to a breach of contract by Bowman to complete the same work.
Correct.
So if you add all those numbers up, you are asking the court to grant you judgment for the amount of $35,684.56.
Correct.
I have no further questions for this witness, Your Honor. We would just submit that the plaintiff's exhibits 5 through 8 that were submitted today be entered into evidence.
All right, looking here, last hearing, plaintiff's exhibit 1,
Yes.
and then there's, exhibit 3, which is Superior Alarm, invoice 622, and there's also another page, that's 2 pages, so it looks like it was marked on page 3. I'm not finding exhibit 2.
Exhibit 2 was, I have a copy of that, Your Honor. It was a copy of the cash checks that were paid, a copy of the check that was paid to Bowman. And I can give you a copy if you need it.
There we are. Okay. They were shuffled out. Okay. All right. So all exhibits then will be, all right.
Yes.
The court will award damages for the amount that was paid to Bowman, $21,548, and then also for damages that outlined in the exhibits for the increased cost of equipment and any labor, if there was any taxes. And technically, that's $35,684.56. I would like counsel to submit a memorandum that shows what the charge was, and for Bowman, what the charge was for the Superior Alarm, and then the net. And then I'll attach that to my judgment order. And then we'll also order the cost of the payment. All right, anything further?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.